Today we're taking a look at the Avatar GT kit by Walksnail. Now the standout feature of this new VTX is the impressive 2-watt output with dynamic power and lower energy consumption. So let's open this up and see how it looks. And the first thing we see here is a Cadix QC card, and it said it's passed, so we'll see about that in the near future. Next you have the instruction manual here for the GT2 kit. It's actually in color here, so you might want to save this especially for the features and actually the wiring diagram for this new VTX. And next we have the actual VTX and camera module right here. Let's pull this out. And this thing looks actually a little bit smaller than I expected. Really nice long MIPI cable on here. Man, I love seeing new hardware here, and we will take a close look at this in a bit. Besides that, we have the two antennas on here. Typical kind of setup here for Cadix. And these are left-hand circular polarized antennas. And we do have the MMCX connector on the bottom right here. Last but not least, we have two bags here. One with some hardware here to actually mount this to the drone, as well as another bag here with some harnesses. And this is probably for the power and for the UARTs to connect this to the drone. Besides that, that's it. Pretty typical of Cadix with their presentation. Very nice, professional, neat. Okay, let's take a closer look at this camera and VTX setup on here. And this VTX is pretty nice, guy. It looks like a big chunk of machined aluminum here. You can see some kind of shiny parts right here with the Walksnail GT2 on the front. Now, the biggest thing that's different here compared to the previous VTX is just the height. As you can see, I have one of their other VTX right here. You can see how tall it is. Now, this is the second version of the G2 series VTX and camera. And as you can see, it looks a little bit more modern, more refined. The big thing here is this fan here. As you can see, it's kind of integrated into the actual assembly here, opposed to the original, which was just kind of like bolted to on top. This looks like a more premium, more finished product on here. Now, this fan here is necessary for this whole setup here because this thing is pumping out 2 watts of power going to the antenna. This is obviously made for either long range or if you're doing some band of flying where there's a lot of concrete or bricks, you can penetrate through those obstacles, guys. So this thing does generate a lot of heat, and you do have this fan on here, but it is more refined. It looks really good, and I'm kind of eager to see how this thing here performs. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this GT2 VTX does feature a 2-watt power output, very similar to the actual GT1. But the big difference here is that this one has dynamic power output, meaning depending on the environment, the distance from the actual ground stations, or actually the temperature of the VTX, it can actually dynamically change the power output to best suit your situation, which is pretty cool, guys. This is a nice feature. We see this before in other VTX like DJI, and that does two things. It always guarantees you the best reception, as well as conserving the battery on your drone. Meaning if you had a fixed power output, say 2 watts, it's gonna consume the battery a lot sooner, especially when you don't need it. Say you're flying very close to yourself, you don't really need 2 watts of power output, and that's gonna consume the battery faster. So in this case, if you're close to yourself, it's gonna reduce the power output, say 25 milliwatts, so you can conserve battery and keep the VTX cooler overall. Now, talking about reception, this new GT2 does feature frequency hopping, which is another feature here to provide the best reception for you. Now, this can change the channel based on the environmental conditions. If there's a Wi-Fi or another drone with the same frequency, it can detect the best reception, the best channel, and automatically switch it in your VRX or goggles, as well as the VTX. It's a pretty cool feature. It's especially important when you're doing long range flying because the environment where you started flying might change as you go further and further away. So say I'm doing flying in my park and I want to do some long range flying. As I go, say, a kilometer, 2, 3, 4 kilometers away, then the environment might change. You might have more interference, and this thing can change based on different environmental factors. So pretty cool feature overall. Cadix is saying that you can get around 20 kilometers of range with this VTX. Now looking at the VTX here more specifically, on the left side we have 2 ports. One here is a USB-C port, and this is great for accessing the files, the memory on this actual VTX. So you don't have to take out your SD card, put it in the computer to access your files. You can just plug this straight into your computer and access your footage, which is pretty cool. Besides that, we have the port here for this harness, and this goes into the drone for power and for your UARTs. Now, talking about power, this thing here is good for 3 to 6S voltages. Now, most modern drones and most modern flight controls have a 9-volt pad for digital FPV or digital VTXs. Now, I don't know if that's gonna work since this is good from 11 volts and that's a 9-volt pad. So I don't know if that's enough current and voltage for this VTX. My recommendation would be to put this to the VBAT pad on your flight controller or directly to the battery. Just remember, it is good from 3 to 6S. So if you have a 8S drone, you might want to get maybe a BEC for this VTX. Now, included in that same harness, we have a little bit of a difference here compared to some of the other Caddx or Walksnail VTXs. Typically, you'll see 1 or 2 UARTs. This one does have 2 separate UARTs. So one obviously for telemetry and for information, and a spare UART here for future features in the future. Now, talking about features, this one also supports head tracking. So if you have a goggles like the Goggles L, then this thing will support head tracking as well, which is good. Now, on the right side, you have an SD card slot, and that's going to be used to save your flight footage to an SD card, as well as to update the firmware on your VTX. Now, right above it, we do have a bind button, which is typical of any VTX. And on the right here, you have an LED light to show the status of your VTX. Now, on the back here, you have 2 ports here for your antennas. We talked about them. This is the MMCX port. This is a really good connection here for data and for signal transfer, but it is a little bit bigger compared to some of the other connections like the UFL connector. But this is pretty simple to connect and gives you the best performance. It does take up a little bit more space, so if you're gonna install this in a smaller drone, that could be an issue. Last but not least, underneath we have the mounting solution for this VTX. We have 2 mounting holes here, both 20 by 20 as well as 25 by 25. So this can fit on multiple drones. Besides that, this is a pretty nice looking VTX. It feels very beefy and heavy. In fact, since we have it right here, let's just wait to see how much it weighs. Looks like 51.8 grams, and with the antennas, looks like 57.7. With the actual harness, looks like 58.8 grams. Not too bad. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, let's move on to the camera of the GT2 kit here. Now, this is a very similar camera setup that we saw on the GT1. This is a 1080p sensor. It can also record in 720p. And it's using the Sony Starvis sensor, which is pretty good for low light cameras. In fact, they use those also in like say dash cams. So this thing is a special camera here for low light filming. Now, besides that, this is a 90mm wide camera, so it's made for kind of larger drones, and we have 2 mounting holes on each side of it. Now, I wish the resolution was a little bit higher. This seems like a really cool package overall. This seems to be like the Mac Daddy of VTX kits on here, but I wish the resolution was a little bit higher, similar to what we saw here on the Moonlight kit. This one here features a 4K sensor, but you're limited to around 700 milliwatts to around 1200 milliwatts on this setup right here. And I wish we had a similar high-res camera on this one. But as I said before, this is made for like long range, maybe for say long-range drones or some wings. And this seems to be a perfect setup for that. So overall, what are my first impressions of this GT2 kit right here? Well, I think, you know, as time progressed, things do get better. And this is obviously better as far as aesthetic and the way it looks, the package, it looks a lot more refined. Obviously, we have this big VTX on here. This is gonna be more of a constraint for like smaller drones. But if you have a wing, you wanna do some long range flying, maybe you have a long range drone with say a lot of space, say like a 6, 7, 8-inch drone, or even a 5-inch freestyle drone that you intend to fly in some bandos. It looks like this setup here should work relatively easy. This is all what we come to expect, a 19mm camera, a pretty big VTX. It does have a fan on here, but you are gonna get that penetration with this 2-watt output, especially with the frequency hopping and the dynamic power here. So it seems like a pretty cool setup here for those kind of applications. So what do you think about this right here? This is a pretty cool. Does this interest you? I think it's pretty awesome, guys, because when I first got into the industry, the big deal was like, oh, 200 milliwatts, 400 milliwatts, and anything over a watt, it was pretty much in the analog world. And obviously you need to have an FCC license for that. But to see a 2-watt VTX digital, it's pretty impressive, guys. So what are my plans for the GT2 kit? Well, I'm gonna install this in one of my drones that I have right here and take it for a flight. So if that interests you, hit that subscribe button there for you to be notified whenever I do drop that video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.